it's Jennifer with the Oster's Kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing y'all how to make chicken tortilla soup. This takes one pot and we do use rotisserie chicken, so it makes it extra easy. This recipe takes less than an hour, so it's perfect for those busy weeknights. Let's get started. For this recipe you'll need a deboned rotisserie chicken, a can of Rotel, a big can of crushed tomatoes, 1 red onion, a big can of regular corn, a can of Mexicorn, a very large box of chicken broth. This one is 48 ounces. 2 cans of ranch style beans, a can of pinto beans, or you can sub black beans or whatever beans you like, a can of cream of chicken, some chipotle peppers in a jar, or you can sub green chilies in a jar. And for seasonings, I like to do taco seasoning, smoked paprika, garlic powder, and some hot sauce. But you can alter this. As long as the taco seasoning is in there, you can add whatever other seasonings you want. And as far as toppings go, I like to do tortilla strips, avocado, lime, and cilantro. And sometimes we throw some shredded cheese on there as well. So I've opened up all of my cans, and the only can that we have drained are the pinto beans. Everything else we did not drain. All right, so first we're gonna start by putting a little bit of olive oil in a big soup pot. You want enough room for your soup. We're gonna put it on medium high, and we are going to dump our chopped red onion right in there. Okay, I've increased the heat to high now, just to get a little bit of browning on these onions. These are almost done. And after they are tender, I'm gonna add my chicken. Okay, so our onions are tender and we've got some browning going. I'm gonna go ahead and add the chicken. This is just a deboned rotisserie chicken, kind of shredded. And just add it straight to the pot. And you are going to brown this for about 2 to 3 minutes. I'm gonna turn my heat down to medium. I don't wanna burn our chicken. Just wanna get a nice little browning going. Okay, we've got a good little browning going on our chicken. So now it's time to start adding the canned items. The first thing we're gonna add is the whole box of chicken stock. Like I said, this is one of the biggest boxes you'll find. This one is 48 ounces. And you might find that throughout this cooking process, you need to add a little bit of water, and that's perfectly fine if you do. Just add a little bit more seasoning as you do that. All right, so the chicken broth is in. Next up is our large can of crushed tomatoes. This is, let's see, a 28 ounce can. It's the big can. Go straight in. And we are going to do a can of Rotel. This is fire roasted, but you can use any flavor you like. And that was undrained Rotel. And we're going to do our Mexicorn. This was undrained as well, but there is no liquid in there, just maybe a little bit. Didn't have to do anything to that. A regular can of corn, which is 15.25 ounces. The pinto beans, which were drained. Ranch style beans. And this makes a large pot of soup, y'all. You can feed your family for several days on this, or if you're having a party or something like that, this is perfect. The second can of ranch style beans. Give this a little bit of a stir. And we'll need a big pot for this. Now we are going to do our cream of chicken. This makes it creamy. And sometimes the cream of chicken doesn't mix in very good right away, but after you get this going through a boil and it starts to simmer, it'll dissipate and blend nicely. All right, we're gonna wanna turn our heat on high, because we're gonna wanna bring this to a boil. And while we're waiting for that to boil, I'm gonna add a few more seasonings. So let's talk about the chipotle peppers. These go in, and you don't need to use a whole lot, maybe 2 tablespoons. They make it really, really spicy. Let's do about 2. If you don't have that on hand, you can omit it, that's fine. Or you can use green chilies in a can, which are also really good. If you don't like it spicy, go ahead and omit that. Okay, then we have our taco seasoning. And I usually start with a tablespoon, but I usually end up with 2 to 3 tablespoons. Do a taste test to see. Okay. So we're going to start with a tablespoon of that. I'm going to do a dash of garlic powder. A dash of smoked paprika. Maybe more than a dash. And then the hot sauce of your choice. And again, if you don't like it spicy, feel free to omit this. We like it spicy. Okay. And then we are going to stir this, and we will wait for this to come to a rolling boil. Then we will simmer it for a while. And during that simmering stage is when we're going to be taste testing this soup to see what seasonings we need to add. And you might find that you need to add some salt, but usually with this soup I find that you don't, just because you have the chicken broth, which has a high salt content, and then the cream of chicken also has a high salt content. But if you need to add salt, feel free to do that. So now we're just going to wait for this to boil. Okay, so I did a taste test on this, and it does need extra taco seasoning, just as I had imagined. So we're going to do 2 more tablespoons of the taco seasoning. And we are going to add a little bit more of the smoked paprika. If you don't have smoked, use regular, but the smoked really does add another dimension of flavor to this. You'll love it. Stir that really good. And this is starting to come to a boil. Once it comes to a rolling boil, we'll reduce the heat and let that simmer. Okay, so our soup's starting to boil now. It's a rolling boil with bubbles, so we are going to turn it down to low, and we're going to let that simmer for about 30 minutes, and we'll be stirring this every 4 to 5 just to make sure it doesn't stick. Okay, while that is simmering, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my toppings. I'm going to slice a lime, and you can put whatever you want on top of this. I like lime, avocado, some cilantro, and my husband likes some cheese. And we both like the tortilla strips, which really make this dish. Lime. And I'll show y'all how I slice my avocado to make it look pretty on top of my soup. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna make slits straight down. Can you see that? Your avocado should look like that. And take a spoon. Gently go all the way around the avocado with the spoon. Just like that. And it should come out like that. Dump it over. You've got some pretty little avocado slices. Then we just rough chop the cilantro. Some people don't mind the stems, but I prefer to take the stems out. My cilantro. Okay, then all we have left to do is the cheese. I like pepper jack cheese. We also like Colby Jack, but it's whatever you like. And we prefer to shred our own cheese. I just find that it melts better and it tastes better in the soup. The pre-bagged cheese has preservatives and things that just don't taste as good to me. Okay, got your cheese. The only thing next is just the tortilla strips, and those are pre-done. You just buy the pre-bag. I like the multicolor just because they're pretty, but you can get the regular plain colored ones too. Okay, our soup has been simmering for about 30 minutes, and now it is done. The only thing I would say now is go ahead and do a taste test and see if you need any more seasonings, if you need any more of that taco seasoning, any hot sauce, garlic powder, paprika, salt, pepper, whatever you want, add it now. let it cool, and then serve. There's our finished soup. We're just gonna top it now. How good that looks with all the chicken loaded down. Cheese. It's my husband's bowl. You're just gonna fan your avocado out like that. And some cilantro. A bit more. And a squirt of lime. Just like that. Look how good that looks. We had some leftover pork carnitas flautas that we made the other day. These are great for dipping, and we will link y'all to that recipe. If y'all liked my recipe, please like and subscribe. Thank y'all so much for watching.